What's up? Interesting story here out of Canada. It says here Canada's High Court or Canada's High Court changed prostitution laws. This is from CNN, which I normally don't read, but it is a newsworthy story in my opinion. So it says here Canada's Supreme Court has struck down the country's laws about prostitution. While selling sex for money isn't illegal in Canada, until Friday's 9-0 ruling, 3 Pacific laws had made it difficult for prostitutes to more safely and securely engage in sex work. One of the laws prohibited anyone from operating a brothel. Another forbade people from earning a living working for a prostitute. Forbid. I don't know why they had it written down as forbade. Or forbade, or whatever the fuck they're saying. It forbade people from earning a living working for a prostitute, such as being a driver, bookkeeper, or bodyguard. Another law reportedly made it illegal to communicate in public about acts of prostitution. On Friday, Chief Justice Beverly McLaughlin said that the court's decision would be suspended for 1 year until Parliament amended the laws. McLaughlin said the time should be allotted because the regulation of prostitution is a complex and delicate matter. According to the Toronto Star, in 12 months from now, the federal government, if 12 months from now the federal government has not redrafted legislation, then prostitutes will be allowed to legally work, hire drivers, bodyguards, and accountants, and screen their clients. The law's purpose is to target pimps and parasitic, exploitive conduct in which they engage, the court said Friday. The law, however, punishes everyone who lives on the avails of prostitution, without distinguishing between those who exploit prostitutes and those who could increase the safety and security of prostitutes. For example, legitimate drivers, managers, or bodyguards. The living avails provisions to consequently overbroad. On another matter, the law of prohibiting soliciting was designed not to eliminate street prostitution for its own sake, but to take prostitution off the streets and out of public view in order to prevent the nuisance that street prostitution can cause, the High Court found. Alright, well, there's a little bit more to read, but I'm going to put a link in the description box anyway. So, here are my thoughts on this type of thing. As a libertarian, and as a person who believes in self-choice and freedom, my personal opinion, my moral opinion, prostitution is wrong. And I don't think a person that wants to sell their body for money can possibly have much respect for themselves. But it's their choice. I don't want to see people legislated into morality. It's not the government's job, whether it's the U.S. government or the Canadian government or any government, as far as I'm concerned. Would I go see a prostitute, legal or illegal? Absolutely not. I mean, I think all drugs should be legal too, and I'm not a drug user. Well, you can consider this a drug, but it's a legal one. I wouldn't shove a needle in my arm. I wouldn't snort no powder up my nose, whether it's legal or not. So, and the whole idea that something being illegal is really going to deter somebody who wants to do drugs, it's not going to deter them. Why would it? It's just insane. We spend all this money on drug enforcement and to bust prostitutes and shit. As far as having them have bodyguards, that's their own choice. They're putting themselves in a position. You know, I don't want to hear this shit. Well, we have to protect the prostitute if it's legal. No. They made a choice to be a prostitute. They know the risk. If they want to get someone on their own to protect them, that's their business. But regulating it, whether it's legal or not, is just flat out stupid. It's more government interference. Anyway, those are my thoughts on it. Like I said, it's wrong, and I will add this. I have a cousin. I won't mention her name. I haven't seen her in shit. I want to say close to 20 years. And she's still alive, which in my mind is amazing because she's a drug head. Crack, whatever. And she already hit rock bottom 2 years ago around Christmas time. Down in Detroit, where she lives, in a house with no heat and a bunch of cats. That's all I know. I don't know if it was a drug deal gone wrong or what happened. The bottom line was some people beat her so bad she was unrecognizable. She had no ID. I don't know how they finally figured out who she was, but they did. And when I heard the news, of course, it's my cousin. I still love her. Doesn't change how I feel. I feel bad for her. And I thought, well, this is how horrible this is. Maybe this is her wake-up call. But sadly, it wasn't. She was in the hospital for as long as she needed to be. Did some work to her face. I don't know the details. I haven't seen her. As soon as she was out, she was back doing what she was doing. And it is sad because it's a waste of life. She's already wasted over 20 years of her life as a druggie. And I'm sure she's probably sold herself for drugs before. I'm not naive, so just pointing this out because I understand people's ideas about that stuff, but my point is, it's been over 20 years, right? All that shit's illegal. Look what she's doing. So it doesn't matter. I'm telling you guys this story so nobody can come back at me and say, well, you've never had or known anybody who's had these problems. Well, yes, I do. It's been up close and personal with me before, so I know all about it. But people have to be held accountable for their own actions, and the government shouldn't step in. I mean, if you can't come up with that on yourself, that you shouldn't stick a needle in your arm or whore yourself out, then, well, I'm sorry, but hey, you've made your choice. Anyway, that's it. I'm off to bed. I got a long day tomorrow. Got to get ready to leave town, so that's it.